below last year's number in our budget projection already. So I didn't think there was a need to make an adjustment there. Payment in lieu of taxes, we've had our town finance director verify that number. There's no need to make an adjustment there. Payment in lieu of taxes come from the Hillview, they come from, is it Reading Light?
Yeah.
The Danvers, town of Danvers, Swan Pond, and then maybe a couple of others there. But that number, I think, is gonna stay, looks like that number's not gonna change. And then investment income, that's gonna be down. We had already taken it down from last year's number significantly, and suggesting that we probably should take it down a little more. That's where the -34,000 comes from. We look at the other areas, fees, we think are gonna be down. We collected 146,000 last year. That was off by 23,000. We've got in the budget 170. So I think it's prudent that we adjust that down. Department revenue, that was a tough one to call. It probably varies all over the place. But last year it was $5,900, so I adjusted that down by 5,000. Licenses and permits, and this is the building permits and so on and so forth. We budgeted an amount that was very close to last year's number, and I think the economy was something further and taken, brought that number to 400,000. Brings us to $97,000 deficit there. Fines and forfeitures, I just adjusted close to what we had last year. Municipal Medicaid, I haven't made any change because the school department, Tom Nelson, recently said that we will get that. They're working in time to assure that the paperwork is processed so that that number comes in. Then in the real estate number, the budgeted number that we use is basically our Prop 2.5 number that we've rolled up each year. I've gone back and double checked to see that we weren't rolling up something off of previous year that shrunk, and the numbers are very close. So, and I'm predicting that, our $347,000 shortfall against commitments of last year is going to grow. Just pick the number that I think it's going to grow by. 480,000 plus. Then the state receipt number, I've just taken and made a little further adjustment. Again, as you recall, the governor's budget, there's been no change to Chapter 70, no lottery, and therefore I haven't made an adjustment in the area at this point. And then personal property was off last year, and we budgeted a number that was above, so I just brought it down a little bit. You add that all up, and we end up with a total deficit in this year's budget, potentially of $729,000, substantially. And when you look at the detailed breakdown, this is revenue generated by the town, plus the state aid. And the state aid number is minimally adjusted. That's who we are. Some of the background leading up to it, I showed this the other day. In 2004, we had tax liens of $238,000. And if that stayed flat, I'd assume that it would be just late payments that come in the following year. But it's actually grown to end of fiscal 2008, $609,000, and the assessors are looking at those numbers now Yes, Sean.
Bob, the real estate taxes that are off in any given year, if there is a late payment that comes in the following fiscal year, where does that show up?
Well, it would show up on, I'm assuming it would show up as an actual in the receipt.
An actual for,
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
an FY '08 bill that gets paid in FY '09?
It'll still show up in the same line item, just as a receipt, real estate taxes paid, whether it was for 2 years prior, or whether it's due to a foreclosure, we got, you know.
Right.
So for any
let's
given,
say-
there could be a
let's
greater
say-
deficit.
Let's say over a period of years, we just had some frequency of late payments, right?
Right.
And it didn't change very much, then it would have no impact.
What I'm-
Because you'd be getting that money from the previous year.
Right.
But as you can see, the trend has gone up, the delinquencies have grown.
Right. So late payments may slow down, so that number may be even greater this year.
Well, I anticipated it being greater, but I made an adjustment. Whether it's the right number, it's hard to tell. I think we might have a little better picture of it after the November bills are tallied. Right? I mean, they're all due by November 1st, but not everybody pays the town.
But the
exactly on time.
combination of increasing delinquencies, people who are still in their home and are paying a little bit later, as well as the increase in the number of foreclosures, is going to delay our collecting. Ultimately, you get your money. When a bank forecloses, we're first in line to get paid. We eventually get our money, but it's spread out over time, so there's lots of opportunities.
The delay will be longer than getting a receipt.
Right.
A concern that comes out of looking at the real estate delinquencies is that typically people that have mortgages are paying those mortgages, paying the taxes to the bank. And one thing we know about the banks is they generally, because the town would have first dibs, pay the taxes, which suggests that the delinquencies may be coming from people that don't have mortgages. And those people may be people who lived in town a substantial long time, maybe living on fixed incomes and having a tough time making payments. Now, we don't know that for certain.
don't know
but
yet.
That's a question that we've asked, and hopefully we'll get a better picture of that. So what I'm proposing tonight is this. A key question on the November ballot is question number 1. And if that were to pass, then this analysis is not going to be worth too much because, well, I mean, it's worth a piece of what's going on, but then we'll have other issues to deal with. We have a meeting scheduled, a financial planning team meeting scheduled for the 29th. We will be discussing this number at that point. We will also be discussing the beginning discussions of how best to deal with this number, or by then maybe an adjusted or more refined number. We have a regular board meeting scheduled for November 3rd, the Monday before Election Day. I'm suggesting to the board that we have a regular meeting, we deal with regular business. We may take one quick look at adjustments for the shortfall. And then that we schedule a joint meeting with the Finance Committee and School Committee on November 10th, the following Monday after question 1, after the November election. And we schedule it as a public hearing where we will make the proposals for adjusting the shortfall, whatever that number happens to be. Whether it's around this number or it's been adjusted up or down associated with the work that's going to take place in the next week and a half. And that will give the opportunity for the public to hear and to comment on the proposed adjustments. Now, here's what's important about this, and this is mostly, the board members know this, but this is addressed to the listening audience, and that is that to make up a shortfall of $750,000, let's say, in our budget, and if you started making those adjustments effective January 1st, you'd effectively be taking $1.5 million of expenditures out of the budget, because we've already run a half a year. So it's important that we don't wait, that we move forward on this as quickly as possible, and as prudently as we can be associated with this issue. And this issue is also going to roll into the 2010 budget process that we have to deal with, which I'm not prepared to talk about tonight, and I don't think any of us are really prepared to talk about that until we make these adjustments. If we were not to make these adjustments, then that would create even a further hole in the 2010 operating budget.
Mr. Chairman. All right. I think it's prudent for us as this board to move forward as swiftly and as prudently as possible, given what you just said in terms of the size of this deficit here, but also, as you mentioned, on November 4th, we have an election, very important election, but also for this state, ballot question number 1, which in my opinion is reckless and irresponsible. And I just want to publicly come out tonight and say I am vehemently opposed to question number 1. I had the fortune of attending a forum that was put on by the